Buonasera and good evening everybody, and welcome back to the Ark Survival Evolved tutorial on the Xbox One. Thank you guys for coming to join me today. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty great. Things are going really well for us here. I'm absolutely loving it. Thank you guys so much for all of the positive feedback and all of the suggestions on the last video. I'm really glad you guys are liking this. I've had a couple of suggestions about things that people would like to see, such as the single-player server settings and more details about that. I don't know a huge amount about what all of the options do, and there's a fair amount of information there, so I will cover that in another video at some point, but I'll need to do a little bit more researching and playing around with the other settings that I haven't used before, just so I can give you guys up-to-date information on everything that's on there. And firstly, a huge celebration is in order, because today... Oh, no, not third person. Oh, I wanted orbit cam. Today, the TLC patch has been released, and I'm super pumped about it. I am super pumped about it. So I imagine we're going to find some things in the world that I'm going to go, what is that? That's amazing! Which I've never seen before, because I am literally just turning on Ark for the first time after the whopping 24GB update that it took. But nevertheless, let us continue along with our tutorial here, and hopefully we're going to cover some more interesting stuff that you guys will find super useful today. So, at the end of the last episode, we went across the very basic first steps about how you're going to want to get yourself started, how you're going to want to get yourself clothed, a little bit of shelter built, get some food cooking, and generally across a lot of the basic controls and inventory details, such as quick moving items around and kind of stuff like that, turning on and off stuff using the right stick. And we touched on the inventory basics as well, where our crafting is, how all of our folders work, splitting half of stacks, splitting ones, and yeah, like dropping, eating, using, and all of those things. We're going to want these. Pick them back up. So today, we've got a little bit more of an interesting adventure. Today we get into the thing that everybody wants to do in Ark Survival Evolved. We got to tame some things, don't we? We got to tame some things. We're all alone out here, and we need some friends to come and hang out with us. But first, what I would be doing at this stage in the game. We managed to make our little bed, so we've got ourselves a respawn point, but what we don't have is any storage, and my inventory has got lots of stuff in it. Let's put that food down on the A button where I like it. Yeah, my inventory's got loads of stuff in it. I'm going to end up getting super heavy with all these things that I'm not really going to be needing at any particular point. We can combine things as well, by the way, just by stacking them back together, if that's helpful. But we need to get some inventory stuff taken care of. I believe we will have another level to apply. Let's have a look here. Now again, tab over to our level tree here, and we may be able to... We have a whole 7 points available to us. Now the storage box would be good. We will also be requiring the slingshot, so we have to be careful about what we go for. I'm going to go for the storage box because I know that we will grind out another level pretty quickly in preparation for what we're planning to do today. So let's go over to structures, over to our wood, over to our storage. There's our little box there. We need some fiber and some thatch. And the sun is actually just starting to go down, so I'm going to go ahead and wait. And I'll bring you guys back in just a moment when the sun is a little bit higher and we can all see the beautiful world of Ark just that little bit better. So here we are. The sun is just on the rise. It's around about 4:30 in the morning in the world of Ark. We can tell there by the time marker, so we know that the day is coming soon. We can also hear the little birds chirping around. The sun is starting to peek over the horizons, but I thought I'd bring you guys back to point out one that can be very useful for you. If you are in the world of Ark and it's super dark and you can't see what the crap you're doing and you're nowhere safe, hit the start button, go down to your options, and down inside of here you will have, right here, gamma correction. Pump this guy up to the max, hit the start button again, and boom, you will be able to see a little bit more. You will be able to see a little bit more. It's super handy. I'm actually just waiting for the sun to rise all the way because there's another one that is very useful that I would like to show you, and I will return the gamma to normal so that when I bring you guys back for this part, you'll know that the gamma is set to standard. The morning has broken. The morning has officially broken. I'm sat down on my little step. By clicking down the right stick, we got a little kind of sit animation going on here. Now, when you're crouched down like this, you won't burn hunger and hydration as quickly. So if you do kind of need to go AFK for a while, sit yourself down, take a load off, save yourself some of that precious hydration and hunger. It's not quite really a point to show, but I believe, no, it's gone. There's a drop there. Nevertheless, we will continue with what we're doing, and I'll point it out to you guys when the day has fully arisen. So what was it we needed to do? Ah, yes, we needed some storage, didn't we? We needed a little bit of fiber and a little bit of thatch to get some storage, which is going to be very useful for us to be able to carry all of our stuff. As you can see in the lower right hand screen there, our weight indicator is very, very full. We are very, very heavy, and that's going to mean we're not going to be able to move fast. We're going to have a super, super bad time if we have to try to run for our life, which will probably be a thing, I expect, in this episode. We're going to be doing lots and lots of running. That one will get me wood. I would like some thatch, so I shall use the pick. Mighty fine amount of thatch there. Mighty fine. Right, okay, this is a little bit more like it. There we are. That is fantastic. You see that extremely bright bloom that we have there? Extremely bright bloom. It's a huge, huge pain in the butt. This is standard gamma, as I mentioned earlier. I can turn the gamma down. It's not going to change that massively bright shine of sand. However, this is super important. Let me turn the screen to the side here so you'll be able to see. If you hit the start button, you're back to your pause menu. If you press down the left bumper, the right bumper, the X and Y keys all at the same time, pop, you'll be opened up with this little guy, the admin command info. Now, if you're on single player, it instantly is an admin command. If you're on a multiplayer, you'll have to put password to actually request it. Now, what we can do here is if I tap this button, it's going to open up the keyboard, and I'm going to use my amazing keyboard to type in cheat space r.bloom quality, one word, space 0, and I'll enter it. So that's going to show up like that, cheat r.bloom quality 0. If you use the admin command, pay attention to that extreme glow on the right hand side of the screen. Bang, it's gone. It kills it dead. The bloom is now completely gone for us. We won't have any extreme shine from anything in particular. That extreme shine is literally just the sun arising on standard gamma, so that's going to be a huge, huge thing. Now, if you're playing on multiplayer, this command will not work. This command does not work. However, I have discovered if you're playing on a multiplayer game and you want to reduce the bloom, go into your single player game. Just start a new single player if you haven't got one already. Literally log into the world, enter this command, hit the admin button, back out, go back into your menu, exit the main menu, go back and log into your online game, and you will have 0 bloom. The game will remember it, so long as you don't log out and quit Ark, and then you'll have to enter it again. But hugely, hugely helpful. I have played so many multiplayer games and I couldn't figure out how to lower the bloom, even on my own subscriber server, my own rented server. There was no option to actually make it a generic end. It is literally an individual graphical option, so that will hopefully, I imagine, would be extremely useful for everybody. So with that out of the way and done, let's get on to making this little guy. We wanted to make 2 of these, so I'm going to go ahead and craft up 2 of them. Super, super slow as we walk our way because we're building boxes at the same time, but this will really, really help us out in the long run. We got to have somewhere to put some stuff. Oh baby, level up for us, which is beautiful, because our huge, huge important thing is we need levels. We need levels so badly. We're only now at level 8 once I apply that one. I'll actually just hit the right trigger to apply this guy. I'd like one here, just like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one here because yeah, I would like it there. That'll do absolutely fine. Sweet, cool. So I can now go into here and I can dump all of the stuff that I want to keep safe inside of here for later keeping. We got some spoiled meat there as well. Now the narca berry and the mayo berry, that's what we're going to need today. We need to gather up a buttload of those because today, as I said, we're going to get into some taming. Taming is what we want on our option. I'm not worried about berries, I'll have meat to cook. This box I'm going to be using to make a spare set of armor and basic tools. Because when we die, and we will definitely die at some point, it would be fantastic to spawn in our bed and have a box ready to get a little bit of protection on us so we can make the journey to go back to our body. Highly recommend doing that. It will really, really help you out in the long run. Okay, excellent. So, what do we need? Well, we're going to be taming something little to start off with, because I just like to have a little bit of a chilled out tame to talk you guys through the very basics. Now, to be able to make any kind of tame whatsoever, we will need 3 basic things. We need something to knock out the tame. We need something to make him sleepy. We can use our fists by punching it. We will do a small amount of torpor damage, and it's the torpor that we're going to want to get raised up. But once we've got him knocked out, we are going to need something to keep him asleep. And this is where these little narca berries come in. These narca berries are really, really good. And in fact, they're the only thing that's really good to keep a tame sleepy. So we've got to pick loads and loads of bushes. This is going to take a little bit of a minute, so we're going to go ahead and pick up a load of these, but we can make other use out of this. As I mentioned, we need levels pretty badly. We need some XP. So what I'll do is, while we're picking all of these to get all of our narcos, we're also collecting a buttload of fiber. This fiber we don't really have much of a purpose for right now. A little bit of a lag spike there, sorry everybody. We don't really have a massive use for this. We're not making any huge builds. We don't really require it. So what we can do is we can go into here, and we can head over to our crafting, and go back to our armor and our cloth, and we can just make, there's 6 shirts, or 4 trousers. It looks like we can make more shirts, so I'm going to do that. Because in Ark, especially early game, there are 2 ways to gain experience: killing or crafting. And be it that we are very, very early in game, we don't have a lot of good weapons or armor or melee damage or movement speed or tames to help us at all, crafting is going to be the way to do it. So I'm going to continue just making shirts out of the spare fiber that I've got. I've got a level to apply. I'm going to do my weight again, get that to at least about 200 before we start looking at something else. And you can already see on the right hand side of the screen there, that little arrow, he's grinding his way up every shirt that we make. So I'm going to spend a minute gathering up buttloads of these berries so that we've got plenty on us, and I'll bring you guys back when I have a good pocket full of berries, and have a little bit of an explore, and find ourselves a little buddy to make our friend.
A few moments later.
Okay, marvellous. I've dropped all of the berries and all the shirts that I don't require on the floor for the time being, as I'm working on grinding up some more. Again, those little shirts are going to help us out with our experience for a moment. And I've seen this little dude hanging around. Hey there, Moss Shops. And I thought, I didn't actually mention this, where I said earlier about needing something to knock out. Not all creatures are knocked out to tame. This guy is also a passive tame. These ones are particularly difficult. Their food varies, but you can see here, put cooked prime meat in last item slot to feed. He is referring to this item slot just here, at the very end. So some of the creatures you will actually kind of need to just kind of sneak up on and just put a berry in its butt or something like that, and eventually it will be your friend for life. Very strange, the world of Ark in that way, I must admit. But most creatures are a knockout tame, and the things that we're going to be looking for now are knockout tame. Little Y button to get some water there, a little bit of food. So I've had a little bit of a grind up. Let's go ahead and drop all these shirts. Another one I'd like to point out to you guys today is this amazing search bar. This is so useful, and I've only really recently started utilizing it myself. If I press here, and I can use either the control pad, but I've actually got a keyboard hooked up to my Xbox now, and I put in shirt. We've got all the shirts here. I can then use this option to drop all of it. Kaboom. It also works very well for transferring one particular item from you to another storage. Really handy there. Very good little shortcut. So as you saw there, I've got round about 80 odd narcoberry and mayoberry with me, which I believe is going to be plenty for what we're looking for today. Doesn't seem to be anything around here at the moment, which is a little bit unfortunate, meaning we're going to have to go a little bit further away from our comfortable safe beach here to be able to find ourselves a buddy friend. But we don't want to live on our own in the world of Ark. It's all about taming dinos, so why would we want to live alone? What I will want to do though is I have myself a little bit of experience to spend, and I can get that slingshot that I wanted. So I'm going to unlock him. This is the first kind of tool you can get to actually inflict torpor damage and knock out a creature. So if we go to our crafting, head over back through here, go to weapons, primitive, and it's a ranged item, it's in here. We require some fiber, some hide, and some wood. I have thrown most of my fiber into cloth shirts, so I'm going to have to get a little bit more of that. But it's not a problem, it's right here in the form of bushes, which is fantastic. Some hide and some wood is some of those things that we put inside of the box here. So let's go have a look in here. I will take the hide and I will take the wood, and hopefully right trigger over, boom, got ourselves a slingshot. Super good. These guys use stone as their ammunition, so let's take that bit of stone. Oh look, I've got some extra narco and mayo in here. Marvellous. Who would have thought it? It's as if I had planned this all out from the beginning. As much as possible anyway. So I've got this dude, I'm going to double tap him. And he went to my Y key that time because there is a shade here and here of other items waiting to be placed. So we got to tap A to get rid of that, to put him where I want him to be. So down on the D-pad brings up this guy, he'll load him. Beautiful, we got a little slingshot. The ammo is really useful for this. We need nothing in our hands and we can just pick up some stones from the beach. Again, we don't want to carry an absolute buttload of this because it's going to weigh us down, and we don't want to be incredibly heavy. But we are now ready. We have ourselves all the berries we will need. Oh my good lord, would you look at that? I was actually going to go for a little dodo to start with, but you know what? That was just going to be a demonstration. Let's head straight into the interesting things. Once we have kind of got ourselves set up and ready to go, my next steps is to get a berry collector, because as you saw there, the only way for us to collect berries is by picking bushes by hand. It takes forever and it doesn't yield a lot of berries. However, if we get ourselves a berry collector, normally I go for a trike, as they're a little bit more versatile, a little bit faster, and can actually defend themselves quite well. But a lot of people do like the stego, so that can definitely be a thing as well. Let's have a look at this guy. He's quite passive, so we can kind of just come up and look at that. He's a little level 5, which is absolutely perfect for us. We only want a little low level dude, because we don't have any of the stuff to tame high level one. The lower the level, the faster the tame will pass, so the easier it's going to be for you to knock it out, get it fed, and the faster it's going to tame. Now do bear in mind, of course, we are on 3 times taming on here, so on official servers you're going to be looking at a longer time. That is the Spinosaur. That is a bad time on 4 legs. We definitely don't want to go near him. He will eat our face. He is really, really bad times. So, we got ourselves a slingshot, we got ourselves a little dude. We can kind of move fairly quickly. Not enough to outrun a trike, but enough to hopefully avoid him and cause some aggro. So, I recently found out as well that hitting these guys in the head isn't actually the best way to knock them out. You want to aim for the body on these dudes, apparently. I didn't know that. But if we press and hold the right trigger, we'll get that shake effect, the same as the spear, showing that we're at max power, and we just got to start nailing him. Okay, a little bit of runtime. Again, he's probably going to be able to catch up to us pretty quick, so we got to run a decent amount of distance, and then stop, turn around, hit him with a slingshot. Okay, and run again. Ooh, another fantastic idea when you're taming a trike is to run through lots of little trees. Trikes really, really hate these tiny little trees. They cause them huge, huge problems. With any luck, he'll get stuck, and it'll be a bit easier for us to knock him out. Nope, didn't get stuck. Run away, run away. Oh dear, oh baby. He's right on, he's coming right for us. That really hurt. You saw I've lost at least a third of my health there. Early times, even a level 5 trike is going to give us a real hard time. Now we do have to keep up the pressure. Not only has he got bored there, but the longer in between hits, then the less torpor he will have. He will lose torpor. So we need to keep the pressure up and keep damaging him as much as we possibly can without getting our butts kicked. I really hope I don't die here. It will be an absolute terrible disaster for a tutorial. How not to tame a trike. Sounds like a bad idea. Run, buddy, run. So this is generally the idea. We just got to kite him forward a little bit, turn around, hit him with a stone, run forward a little bit. Kind of try to keep away from him as much as possible. Now you see my stamina is about to run out, which is going to be a really bad time for us right now. Really, really bad time for us. Let's make haste through these trees and through these rocks, and hopefully he'll get a little bit confused. He's not that confused. He's really, really after us. Through the trees. Through the trees. Trikes hate trees. Trikes absolutely hate trees. There you go. See, he really didn't like that tree. Now, one thing that's really useful to know, if we can kind of get away from this guy for a second to show you. Okay. Alright, we got him. So, when your stamina runs out, sit down. Your stamina will refill a lot faster. If you can get the guy stuck on a tree, you're in business. Just start nailing him. Avoid the head if it's all possible for a trike, apparently. Which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently it is. Go for the leg, go for the belly, go for the back. But try not to hit him in the head as much as possible. He doesn't take that much torpor damage, which I was unaware of. You getting sleepy yet, buddy? I know I'm dehydrated, but this guy is in pressure. I can run away and go and get some water and come back, but his torpor will start to drop. Right, he's going to start a run, although he's still stuck by trees. Generally, when a creature turns and runs, it means they're close to passing out, so they're going to try and get away from you. So again, just keep up the pressure, keep up these stones, right in the rib cage, I suppose, why not? Still doesn't make any sense not hitting him in the head for me, but apparently it is the best way to do it now. We're going to run out of stones. You can see he's targeting me again. He really wants me now. Okay, we're out of stones, so I need to get some more. And we'll get some water while we're down here, so we don't pass out from dehydration. That will kind of put a bit of a spoiler in things. A stone. There's a stone. Don't want to pick up the little ones. I actually want to get a decent amount of stone quickly. That'll do. Straight back on him. Hopefully he hasn't escaped his little tree trap here. Now again, his torpor would have dropped the whole time I was away. Oh, there he goes. Right in the butt, and he's gone sleepy times. Ah, little sleepy trike. Nighty-night, buddy. Sweet dreams. Fantastic, we did it. We succeeded in knocking out our very first trike. How fantastically useful. It would not have happened if it wasn't for these fantastic trees. Otherwise it would have been a huge bad time. So once you finally got yourself something knocked out, be it a dodo, be it a trike, why not? I recommend a trike as for your first or next tame. Hit the X button on him, you'll open up his inventory. Now again, in the center you've got you and them, so you can see our stuff, and then you can see him, and all of his statistics are listed out underneath. His torpor at the moment is full, right down at the bottom there. That's the one we want to pay attention to. And again, if you press B on his HUD, you can see the purple bar unconscious is slowly starting to deplete. Now what we also have to look at is inside of here his food bar. When his food drops low enough, he will be able to eat some food. Until then, he will just kind of not want to eat at all, which is a huge pain in the butt. But trikes, they like berries. These maya berries are the best thing for taming most of the herbivores on Ark, so we're going to give him those. And surely enough, you can see his food bar will fill back up every time he eats. And once it drops, I think it's like 15 or 20 points lower. We can test that right now. Well, there's like almost 30 points already. Let's have a look here. Is he going to eat when it gets to 70? Yep, 30 points low. He will have himself some food. We'll put the narcotics into his inventory as well. Now, very much the same way of in your inventory, if you press the right trigger, you will eat it. When you're in their inventory, if you press the right trigger on the narcoberry, he will eat those. And you'll see his torpidity bar at the very bottom there is going to start to fill back up. So we'll give him all of those. And then we just got to wait. We just got to chill out and let him have his food. Now the taming effectiveness there is 99.9. You saw there it just dropped to 99.8. The more often a creature will have to eat, the higher chance of the taming effectiveness starting to drop. This is only a level 5 trike, so even with a 100% taming effectiveness, we're only going to get an extra 2 levels. Now those 2 levels will have a chance of applying themselves to either the creature's health, stamina, oxygen, food, weight, melee damage, movement, speed. Not the torpidity as far as I'm aware. So of course, when you do get a creature that's a high level, you want it to be able to tame up with maximum taming effectiveness as possible. There are a few ways to do this. The first one is to make sure that you knock it out with as much health as possible. This guy's lost half of his health just from me hitting him with the stones, which would technically lower his taming effectiveness, but again, it was only a slingshot tame. It's a very low level, so I don't think it's made any real effect. However, on higher level creatures, knocking them out without completely damaging them too much, I believe is an effect to their taming effectiveness. The other one, of course, is the food that he eats. If we have the perfect food for the perfect tame, they will tame up a lot faster. They'll have to be more hungry to eat the food, but the food will do much more effect and fill the taming bar a lot faster. This is where kibble comes into. I'll do a whole specific tutorial about kibble, how to make it, what it does and all of its uses, but that'll be a little bit later down the line for us. So, and of course the other thing is his health, as I mentioned earlier. Now if he's unconscious and something hits him, boom, you see right there, it went down to 85.2 just from one of my punches. So you gotta make sure you're in a safe area. If you're not entirely sure, get yourself some of the spiked walls, get some random fence foundations and some wood walls, and just kind of wall him in so nothing can get to him. If something does attack him, not only will it probably kill the tame, it will ruin the taming effectiveness for you if it does manage to survive. But nevertheless, one more chomp here, and we should be in business, I believe. You gonna be ready? You gonna be our friend? Are you hungry yet? Are you gonna be our friend forever? Num num. Num num. Amazing, we tamed ourselves a beautiful Triceratops. Let's go ahead and give it a super fantastic name. What shall we call it? I don't know if that's actually short enough to be his name, but Weakling the Demo Trike. Yeah, Weakling the Demo Trike. How's it going there, buddy? You tamed out a whole whopping level 7. Let's have a look at your stats. Pretty much no real changes on there whatsoever, but we have got him. This is a very, very useful utility mount for us. These guys are amazing. However, we may have a bit of an issue. Not only is he stuck on some trees, which I'm going to hammer away, hopefully without hurting him, but we'll see what we can do. There we are. Now, instantly he's following us, so we're going to just back ourselves away. And hopefully he'll be able to figure his way to get out of the trees. There you go, buddy. Come on home. Come hang out down by the new base place. Yeah, amazing times. A little freaking trike tame. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get this guy to come and hang out with us over here. Look at you run, little white weakling, the demo trike. Look at you run. Alright, beautiful. So, as you see there, he's following. If we press and hold the B button, we get another beautiful radial wheel. This has follow all, follow one, stop all, and stop one. These are the guys we're really going to be wanting to use the most of today. If we go stop all, boom, he's going to stop. Now again, I could be looking over here, and the center circle of this radial is actually a target marker. So if I whistled follow 1, anything within that center circle would potentially hear me and come towards me. He's not in that circle, so he's not going to pay interest. However, if we hit the follow all button, he's going to pay attention to it. And the reason for this is that we can see his name. Allow me to show you. As you saw there, he started following us. Now if I run down the beach, run a little way down here, is it still there? No, can still see his name. Run a little bit further down there. Nope, still see his name. Trying to test something out. Don't know the exact distance. Right, there you go. You see his name has disappeared from the screen. Now if I hit follow all, nothing's going to happen. However, if I move a little bit closer until his name shows up, like that, even if I'm looking away and go follow all, now he's going to follow us. So that's a really useful one to bear in mind, that pretty much if you can see the name of your tame can hear your whistle. So it's a super important thing to know. It is not affected by terrain as well. If I was behind a rock and I couldn't actually get a sight on him, again, if I aim the center of the screen towards him, go follow 1, he's still going to be able to hear me because I've targeted him specifically through his name, and he will come to us even though there's an object in the way. Very, very useful stuff to being able to control your tames. There is some other useful things which I need to play around with some more before we get to play with him a little bit more. But this will do us just fine. Come over here, buddy. Come back over by the house. We're going to give you a good home over here. Sometimes they take a second to think about it before they realise what they got to do. They're not the brightest creatures in the world, Trikes. They're really, really not. Alright, excellent. But we got our little buddy. Now, sadly, we need a saddle to be able to ride this guy. Because he's super big and amazing, and I don't believe we are anywhere near the level required to actually unlock said saddle to be able to utilize him for our means and progressing further in the game. Where is the trike saddle? Again, what we can do is use this amazing search bar, TRIK, and we need to be a level 16 before we can actually use him. That's a huge, huge pain in the butt. What a huge, huge pain in the butt. So leveling is our next important mission for us to proceed with. As I mentioned, there are a few ways to do this. My recommended way is crafting. And you know what? This house, it's a little bit crappy. It's a little bit crappy. It's a thatch house. We can go ahead and try to turn it into a wood one. I don't know if we have the skill to be able to do such things yet. Have we learned enough? No, we actually have not learned enough to be able to do that yet either. That's a little bit further down the tree. But there is one that I really want to show you guys, and it's right there. It is a super important part. We are literally just about to level up, so in just a few seconds we will have enough experience for me to show you what it is. In fact, just to make it a bit quicker, I'm going to chop down a tree. This one. There we go. Because I gain experience for hammering on resources. Right. If I head over here, go into the unlock page. Silly me, I need to apply the level first. Oh, blooper reel. Let's go for weight again because I want to carry the world. Head down here. The bowler. I praise these things so much, and I still see people running around the Ark without them. These things are really, really useful. These are your best friend. In my opinion, these should always be on your hotbar. I like to carry a good few of them just to be sure. But these are very, 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 very useful for keeping us alive and for making tames. They're an incredibly useful utility. Basically, it is 3 rocks tied together by a string that you will throw, and it will tie up small creatures. Meaning that if we're wandering around and a raptor comes at us, we can throw a bowler at it and it will stop dead, giving us time to either kill it, or make an escape, or knock it out to be able to potentially tame it. Very, very important that you should always be carrying these things with you. They're incredibly useful. There's another 2. Imagine we're going to need some hide. Yeah, we'll need some hide to be able to make some more. But that's okay. There's a few of them there. Absolutely great stuff. If I go ahead and equip these, I prefer them to be on my B slot for bowler. Absolutely great. These are the little dudes there. Very, very easy stuff. You just press and hold the right trigger. You'll spin them up for a second, and then you can let them go. Let's see if we've got something that we can test this out on, because we do have a little bit of time left, I feel, to do a little bit more tutorial things. What I'm going to do between this episode and the next episode is I'm going to pretty much just continue crafting cloth shirts, and maybe run around trying to make a few kills, because we need experience now. For the next things that we want to get into, we need to get some experience together, and the only way for us to do that is by, as I mentioned, either killing or crafting. All of these things will be very good for us at the beginning. There's a pteranodon. These guys are the big target, because of course where we're living here, this isn't going to be our permanent base place. We're not going to be living here for all of our time in Ark. This is only a little starter area, and to be able to find ourselves a good, perfect base spot, we need to be able to fly. And this little level 5 pteranodon would be absolutely great. The bowler as well works on these dudes, so if we spin it down, hold it up and let it go, boom, you can see the little guy is actually tied up. Now I could probably knock him out just with my fists. He's actually a very beautiful colour. Perhaps he will hang around and we can tame him when we're a little bit closer to being able to do that, but not quite yet. We're going to leave him to go. We just used him as a test to show you guys what the bowler did. Again, you can kind of see he's all tied up in it there. He's not really going to be able to do much. That Spinosaur's a bit too close for my liking. I'm getting the frick out of here. So, I'm going to go ahead and call this one here there, guys. That is the very basic of actually completing tames. We actually managed to go a little bit bigger than I was aiming for. I was just going to show you the basics of it with a dodo and then hopefully find a trike. But what do you know? The gods of Ark smiled upon us and gave us a very low level trike to get us started with. So again, hopefully this information has been quite useful for you today. I especially think that the bloom details would have been incredibly useful. We got ourselves the little weakling, the demo trike. We've learned a little bit more about stamina regeneration, learned a little bit more mostly about what taming entails and what we are going to need to do it. And yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it too. Thank you very much for coming to join me today. If you have liked it, do me a massive favour, hit the like button for me. And if you are looking forward to more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button too, so you're not going to miss out on any of the episodes coming to the channel in the next few days. As always, people, I greatly love you all. All the best, everybody. Take care. And I can't wait to see you all again soon.